So the topic today is ditch your inner critic. And boy, don't we all have one?
Yeah, mine likes me.
I love the writing of Don Miguel Ruiz. He's really got it down pretty much accurately. He describes the process as domestication. We become domesticated animals. We start out as free spirits, and we go through this process of everybody saying, you ought to, you should, you are, you aren't, and all of the big fat lies that get told to us. And the thing about the subconscious mind is that it has no capacity whatsoever to discriminate between truth and falsehood. It's just like a giant sponge, and it sucks up all of the stuff that rains down on us. And it gets buried down there, and it's part of our so-called subconscious. And it's part of our basic belief system. And as Lynn read, well, yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Did anybody ever say to you, who do you think you are? You can't do that. If I heard that once, I must have heard it 10,000 times. You can't do that. You're not. And fill in the blank. You know, there must be 1,000 different things that people have said to you that you aren't enough of. Or in the alternative, you're too much of.
I've heard that before.
Too strong-willed, too argumentative, too fat, too skinny. You name it. We get told all of that stuff. And it's just as if living within inside of us is the meanest kid in the world. And that mean kid runs its mouth. The mean kid that lives inside of you has a big mouth. And it's always shooting off. Who do you think you are? You can't do that. And it's repeating the lies that we've been told. And they are lies. Because none of it is the truth. It's just somebody else's opinion. Why in the world would you allow some fear-based person to rain on your parade? Well, in a rational moment, you would say, well, I don't think I will. You can have an opinion about me that I don't share. That's fine. Go ahead, have whatever opinion you'd like to have. And you know what my favorite bumper sticker is. And that is, what other people think of you is none of your damn business. And that's true, because you don't care what people think. Because you are in tune with the perfection that you are. When you are self-sufficient, when you are aware of your own divinity, when you are aware of who you really are. You can believe all of the lies and the stories and the shoulds and the shouldn'ts if you choose to, but you need not. You can concentrate on the perfection of the divinity that you really are. The Course in Miracles talks about this inner critic as the ego. And the ego is simply defined as the collection of ideas that you hold about yourself. That's what the ego is. And that collection of ideas has accumulated over all of the years that your consciousness has been awake. and it has collected all of this dross that lives within you. And, like Don Miguel, you say, oh, yeah, I believe my brother, I believe my mother, I believe my father, I believe my kindergarten teacher who said I was too rambunctious. I believe all that stuff. Because we haven't questioned, we haven't decided, well, is that really true? Is that really true? And could you even know that it's really true? So the secret to dealing with the inner critic, and you can know that the inner critic is running its mouth whenever you have a little seizing up, a little tightness in your solar plexus. Whenever you feel an uncomfortable emotion coming on, you can rest assured that the ego is raising its voice and it's saying to you, uh-oh, you're crossing the line here, Charlie. And you then, in that moment, you have some steps to take. The first step is to say, so what is my inner mean kid actually saying? And you listen, and you look at the ideas that that mean kid is expressing. And then, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what does my inner wisdom know? And you listen to your inner wisdom. And when your inner wisdom speaks, you listen to that inner truth. And you make it part of your consciousness by repeating it out loud if you're in a position to do that. Because it's the process of weeding out the mean kid, the inner critic, that gets you to the point where you can actually believe in your perfection. You are perfect. And that's always the case. You are the perfect expression of divinity right where you are. Because the divine is all things. And if, perchance, if just once in the last week you have uttered something that was perhaps not loving, perhaps not compassionate, perhaps not understanding, perhaps even judgmental slightly. I know better. It's simply an expression of the mean kid that dwells within you. And why on earth would we allow meanness to dictate who we are being? We are always, always, always at choice. And the choice is, who are you going to listen to? Are you going to listen to the voice of inner wisdom that comes to you directly from divinity? There isn't a single person in this room, there isn't a single person on the planet that is absent from that presence, absent from that spark of divinity that lies within each of us. No one, no exceptions. We all have that same essence. And the issue is, will you listen to that? Will you listen to that voice? Or will you pay attention to the mean kid who throws sticks and stones, who wants to break your heart, break your bones, who gets pleasure out of causing pain? Of Course in Miracles describes the ego as the voice for insanity. And its motto is this: seek, but don't find. You're always seeking, seeking, seeking. And what does that get us? But it gets us frustrated. It gets us in that rotary movement where we seem to be much like a dog chasing its tail. We just run around in circles, frustrated, all the time frustrated by the voice that we listen to in our head. And it's really, really not worth listening to. And the secret is to pay attention to your inner wisdom. To recognize first that the mean kid is chiming in. And then to pause when you feel that tightness in your solar plexus. To pause and say, okay, perhaps there's another voice I can listen to. Perhaps there's inner wisdom. There is inner wisdom. Perhaps you can access it. Perhaps you can listen to it and hear it. Because it's there. We are not left to our own devices. We're not out there swinging in the wind, dangling precariously. The voice for God, the Holy Spirit, whatever name that you would care to append to it, that inner wisdom that is the essence of each one of us, will respond. When asked, will gladly respond. It may not be a booming voice from the sky. It may not be something that you expect at all. It may simply be a song on the radio, or a billboard that you pass by, or someone smiling at you unexpectedly. But you will be guided. You will be instructed. You will be given the wisdom that is your very nature, that is the essence of who and what you are. So the mission is to quiet the inner meanie and to wake up your inner superstar. Each of you is a superstar, just waiting to unfold. Just waiting. There is no earthly reason for you to continue to squelch yourself, to limit yourself, to believe all of the stories, those big fat lies that others have told you. They simply are not true. And it's time that you are who you are destined to be. It is time for you to say, I can be what I have always dreamed of being. Don't let somebody else, particularly somebody who operates on fear, don't let them rain on your parade. Put up your umbrella and let the rain fall, but just don't let it get in your way. Because it is so very critical that you listen to the inner wisdom that lies within you. You've got to groom out all those silly ideas, all those big fat lies that we've been told our whole life, perhaps multiple lifetimes, who could say? Perhaps we've brought all that stuff with us too, who knows? That would be a possibility as well. And you can undo that. There's nothing in your consciousness that can't be readjusted. and tuned up. So basically what we're saying is align yourselves with truth principle, align yourself with the divine spark that lies within you. Listen to that voice. Do not listen to the mean little kid that lives there. You might even consider serving that mean little kid an eviction notice. Say, get out. I don't need you in my house anymore. It's no fun having you around. You're in charge, truly. Each one of you is in charge of what goes on in your house. The house of your mind, the house of your consciousness. So, very simply, very straightforwardly, get rid of the critic. And all those things, all those issues, self-worth, relationships, body, success, money, love. Just simply choose for yourself to align with the divinity that you are, to align with your inner wisdom. Awaken the superstar that you are. So that's it. Pretty simple message. There's a critic in there. Fire it. Get rid of it. No criticism.